The MP429 is magic! Yo everyone, it's Sam here. Welcome back to my career on F1 2014. As you can see, we're here in Malaysia in practice, and here's my first run on the prime tyres then. This is my best lap, and it was good enough for me to go 9th, so that's pretty good there. And we are going to go into the option tyres a bit after this because I couldn't really get any much better laps out of the primes after that. I'm not sure if I mentioned in Australia, but yeah, I'm not particularly good on the primes in this game. We go back up to 9th there. We had dropped to 11th in that little gap before, but yeah, we seem to be getting a good run here on the options. We improved then to a 141, and we've set a time with 3 noughts to 3 decimal places 2 laps in a row. That was pretty cool, and we crossed the line then. Our best time was actually 4th, and that's pretty good actually, because we were only like, I'm not sure what position we were in. We were in like 6th or something in Australia. I mean, we're only a little bit better, but I mean it's an improvement. And we were P5 during the session then. Actually had a grid penalty there, and yeah, it was Hamilton who was fastest in practice. We are going to go now into Q1, then climb into this MP429, which didn't give us much good fortune in the previous race, but hopefully here we can do a bit better in qualifying than we only qualified 16th last time. And you can see we weren't doing too well after our first run in Q1, but we won a much better lap here, 1.5 up on our personal best, and it was a purple sector at this stage. And heading through this final sector, but you can see there's so much traffic here. There's Raikkonen there. He didn't masses us too much, but then Massa's just parking it on the apex, and then he gets right in our way as I tried to go on the outside of him, and that's cost us big time on our lap. And that's really annoying because I was hoping I could try and get through Q1 on the prime tyres, and it's going to be quite difficult to do that now. And that was a really good lap I was on there, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to recreate that lap on prime tyres, but we're going to see how good this lap was anyway, because I had a bit of confidence that my first 2 sectors would be good enough to make up for it, but we only go faster than Chilton, so we are going to go out for another run on another set of prime tyres, because I felt that I could get through to Q1 if I managed to get a good lap together. We'll come across the line then, and we only improved to 17th there, so we are going to have to do the sensible thing here and put the option tyres on. And this is a very good lap, and it did need to be because the session was up and we were only 18th. We're coming across the line then, and what's our time going to be? Well, we are 2nd, and that is very good for us then. Only Kimi Raikkonen was faster than us, and he was faster in Q1 in the previous race as well, and that's a pretty good time for us there, a 39.4. That should be good enough to get us into the top 10 if we can recreate that in Q2. It was Gutierrez, Maldonado and the usual suspects who went out in Q1 then, and Gents was only 14th. Into Q2 then, you can see I was only 11th at this point. I was on a better lap though, across the line. It's only a 140, and we stay 11th then, so we need an improvement here. And I knew that I could set a time that was fast enough to get me into the top 10. As you can see, Perez was on 39.7, and you can see I was on a better first sector, 4 tenths already on this lap, so we should get through. But there's traffic again in the middle of one of the fastest parts of the track. There's Ricciardo there, and also the Williams of Valtteri Bottas, who also, well, he should be on a quick lap here because he's 13th, but that has really cost me big time here. We're about to see as we go through a second sector point that we're now down by nearly 4 tenths, so we've lost around 8 tenths of a second in that second sector, getting held up by those two, and that is really frustrating. I mean, I know it didn't really look like much, but I had to go way offline certainly in turn 6, and that lost me so much time. We crossed the line. It is only 11th in qualifying, and that is a big disappointment for me because I already felt that I had the pace to get into the top 10 here today. As Jensen was in 8th, and he did at least get through after qualifying last in the previous race. It does look like we're probably going to be in the top 10 though, because Massa had a penalty, which I forgot to mention that, for holding me up. And our target for this after our dismal first race was 15th, so my guy here is pretty happy, although at the time I wasn't really feeling it because I felt that a top 10 should have been mine. So Mercedes lock out the front row for the first time this season. Nico Rosberg is on pole, my teammate Jenson Button is 7th, I'm in 10th, both McLarens in the top 10. We didn't score any points in the previous round, but we've got a very good chance here today. Now I did listen to some suggestions from the previous race, and I have put traction control onto medium now for the race. I had assists off during practice and qualifying. We've got the lights coming on now, and we are away, and straight away I noticed that certainly the lack of power that comes with putting traction control onto medium, but at least we haven't got too bad wheel spin, and it looks like our Mercedes power is going to keep us ahead of Kvyat into turn 1, and everyone's going quite slowly there. I kind of stay in the middle of it all, and I'm up into 8th place for now. I think I see a nice gap on the inside, but then the Ferrari 6 sticks its abnormally shaped nose in that gap, so I have to settle for 8th coming out of the first couple of corners. But it looks like I've got a better run than him out of turn 3 with that Mercedes power. I'm looking at Perez as well, but then into turn 4, and Button's cut me off there, and he's gone very still on the apex, and Alonso's passed me. Ricciardo hit me as well, and Bottas has appeared on the inside as well, so it's all going off in those first few corners. But I've got the inside line in turn 5, and I'm back up into 7th place then. Button's in 6th, so both of us have made places off the start then, so it's been pretty good for us then as we head round the rest of this opening lap. And at this point I hadn't really noticed much of a difference, but sailing into low speed corners like this one, which I find so difficult without traction control, I found that this one was certainly a bit easier. I mean, not a lot. I mean, it didn't solve all the problems, but I certainly was able to take it a bit more like similar to the AI. And by lap 3 I was still pretty close to those ahead of me, and I was close enough that I actually had DRS here, which was useful because I had Alonso not far behind me here trying to pass me for P7. I think Ricciardo was somewhere behind as well, who was going pretty quick in this opening stint actually. I think he's at the fastest lap a few times in fact, and he's actually up into 8th place now then. I think Alonso probably backed out of a move on me into the final corner or something. Across the line we go then to begin the 4th lap, and it looks like Ricciardo might have a run on me into turn 1, and turn 1 at this track is one of the only places in the whole game where they are actually aggressive on you, and that was the case also in 2013, and they haven't changed it at all. And as I said before, they said they were going to fix it and they didn't, so it's quite annoying. And anyway, on to lap 7 then. It's Alonso's back up into P8 now then, and well, he got passed again by Ricciardo actually as I say that, so yeah, it's him that's going to be having a look at me now. Into turn, going around turn 3 then, I'm starting to struggle with the rear tyres now, and Ricciardo, I've got a very good run, he bangs Bill with me through turn 3, but I think you know what's going to happen here. Yep, he backs out of it, and I managed to hold on to 7th place for now then. And yeah, I think we're going to skip to later on in the lap actually, as I was actually struggling quite a lot now then. The even without traction control fully off, it was still proving to be quite a bit of a struggle here, but Alonso's got a good run on me here. It looks like he's probably going to keep this move because he's not offline, and I've managed to outbrake him just about. There's a bit of contact, and now into the final corner. It looks like we've almost a side pod glitch there, but we've just about got away with it, and Alonso actually had DRS there, so that's quite unfortunate. But now Raikkonen's got a run on me, he's on the inside, Ricciardo's on the outside of me as well, as we all head towards turn 1, and this can only end badly surely, but I back out of it before they do, and Raikkonen's forced Ricciardo outright, and that's going to give me a chance now. Run into the back of Raikkonen's car again, just like Magnussen would, and well, I'm in 9th place for now then, and Bottas has moved up into the points then. And yeah, it wasn't going too well for Williams at this stage either. So into the pits we come then on the end of lap 8, and I was still in 9th place then, and I was doing pretty much the exact same strategy as I did in Australia actually, option prime, and I think it's pretty much the same pit laps as well. So when we come then, I think Alonso and Bottas both pitted on this lap, and I think Alonso got held up in the pits there as well, because I managed to close up to him quite a bit, and we're going to be quite a way down the field then. Of course, not many people have pitted yet. Well, I think still half the field. Massa pitted early though, and he actually undercut us here. So that was quite interesting, but I think he's going to be 3 stopping. And you can see Alonso's on the prime tyres and I'm on options, so I'm thinking I've got the advantage here, and I'm going to go for a move as we head up towards turn 4 then. There's no curves or anything, but I'm in the slipstream, and I'm actually going to pull off an overtake for the first time in this series, and I was a bit clumsy on the entrance, but I seem to have compromised his line, and I managed to get up into P14. As I said, quite a clumsy move, but I managed to pull it off, and on to lap 10 then, and the rest of the people, well, most of the other people pitted then, I was up into P10 now. Then Alonso wasn't that close to me in turn 1, so I managed to hold on to it. But I was in P10, and Vern still to pit, and then he comes in there, and down the pit straight. Alonso's got quite a good run on me, so is Ricciardo, so I have to watch out for them here. And now into turn 1, Alonso's going to dive bomb it for safety, and well, he was quite slow there on the apex, which is quite unfortunate because that's one of the only places that the AI are ever aggressive. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing, but we've managed to hold on to 9th at least. But now on to lap 12, we've got Ricciardo behind us now, and we're very wide. We've done what Perez did in 2012 actually. Well, we are Checo, I guess, and Ricciardo's through and up into P9, and we've got to watch out now because Alonso's going to be trying to pass us, and we weren't close enough to get back Ricciardo, but we move up into P9 then because Massa pitted, and yeah, there we are. Here we are then a couple of laps later with Alonso now on our tail, and it looks like he's probably going to do pretty much the same move, except that he had to wait for the DRS to pull off the move, and I maybe had to get stay with him here. Of course, I'm going to have DRS this time round, so yeah, hopefully I should be able to kind of fight back. But yeah, I was still struggling with traction compared to the AI, which is a bit unfortunate, and we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Really, I'm gonna stick to having traction control on medium for the races, and into turn 1 I just wasn't close enough because the AI are very good on the brakes into turn 1 here. So I stay P10 for now. Then I've got 2 Williams behind me, which are the only ones of this kind of the second tier, as I call it, behind the Mercedes. And on lap 17, Bottas has a very good run on me, but I'm going into the pits anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think Bottas was doing a bit of a different strategy to me. I think he was doing option prime because the Williams tyre wear isn't very good in this game, and Massa was actually doing 3 stops, so he was behind us at that point. I mean, he's going to pass us now, but we both have to stop once more. As in I come then for my second stop of the race, my second and final stop, and yeah, onto prime tyres then to the end of the race, and it's 11 laps compared to the 8 and the 9 we were doing on options, so we should get to the end of the race on these without too many problems. As we exit the pits now then, quite a long way back as you'd expect. We're down in 16th place, which is, well, it doesn't look great, but of course we should still be back in the points once the pit stops are all over. But Bottas rejoined ahead of me there, as you can see, and that's quite unfortunate for me because that's one of the people I need to be ahead of if I'm going to score points today. But you can see he's going for a move into turn 4, but predictably he backs out of it and loses like, what, 1.5, 2 seconds to me there, and I'm able to just drive past him as we head towards turn 5, and I'm up into 14th place, but that is going to end up being 10th place, of course. And a few laps later, Massa pits for his final stop of the afternoon, and I'm going to be up into 10th place then, so that's very good for me here. And Bottas is actually looking at me into turn 1. I'm not sure he's going to be close enough, but he is going to dive bomb for safety just like Alonso did, but I think I was quite aggressive there and I cut him off a bit unfairly. But I've held P10 for now then, and Massa is going to be on fresh tyres, and he is up to 11th now then. He's past Bottas, and he is going to be looking at me now down the pit straight. He's going to pass me probably before the start finish line here with DRS and fresh tyres. I'm just going to have to get in the slipstream and hope that I can outbrake him into turn 1, which will be very difficult because of how good the AI are into turn 1. But he's run it a bit wide because I was still there on the inside, and I've managed to get that place back, and now Bottas is through and into P11 once again. And that's pretty much it for this race, as it continued on with the Williams battling behind me, and I'm still just desperately trying to hang on, but it looks like I've done it. Hamilton's already won the race, but across I go then for my first points of my career. It's P10 for us, and it's a double point score for McLaren after failing to score in the first round. Button was fourth, he held back quite a few people, so I think while the McLaren hasn't been doing a particularly good job here, we've at least been able to defend our positions from a few other people. And I've heard from my co-op teammate Psycho Swish that the first 2 races are quite difficult, but then after Bahrain it gets a bit easier, so I'm hoping that's the case, and that running with medium traction control during races will kind of help level the playing field a bit and give us some good races, because Australia wasn't very good, but this one was a bit better because I was at least able to defend. And here's a Drivers' Championship then. I'm only 13th because I only scored 1 point, of course, and I'm behind Maldonado somehow. Buttons straight up to 6th place then with that point score. A very good 4th place for him. And McLaren, we go up to 5th then in the standings, ahead of Williams then, so those points there that we got were very good for us. And yeah, that's pretty much it then for this second round. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, and I'll see you next time for Bahrain. Goodbye. Oh, come on, really? Are we doing this again? Look, I scored points. I mean, what do you want from me? Look, I scored a point and I held off Massa and Bottas, look. Why are you complaining? Look, just get that camera off me now. I don't want to do this again.